Justice is important in society to put an end to wrongs as determined under our laws, and to make sure people's rights are upheld as promised in our Constitution. This leads to a safer society for all of us. The Lady Justice symbol is a blindfolded woman carrying a sword and a set of scales, and is common on courthouses in America. She symbolizes the equal administration of the law, without corruption, without favoritism, without greed or prejudice. Prejudice is bias or unfairness. This means everyone can come to court and have fair and unbiased treatment. No one comes to court with a head start or with an advantage over anyone else. The sword represents punishment, that justice can be swift and final. The scales stand for truth and fairness. The lady is blindfolded to show that she is impartial. That means she does not favor anyone over anyone else. No matter how powerful or powerless, rich or poor, or famous and great or weak anyone is, they are equal in the eyes of the court. The court does not take people's status into account when making decisions in court. This concept of blind justice we're talking about is also called judicial independence. That is, judges are independent of public or political pressure when making decisions in court. Judicial independence is called the crown jewel of our country's democracy, and perhaps the most important part of our justice system. Why? Well, because this ensures fairness in our courts and fairness in our judges' decisions. Another name of all the judges is the judiciary. An independent judiciary means a justice system that is not influenced or swayed by either the legislative or executive branches, the other of the three branches of government. An independent judiciary makes decisions based solely on the law and the evidence, not on public or political opinion or pressure from anyone or any other branch of government. This is what guarantees equal justice to all. This makes our system the very best in the whole world. We're not perfect, but we are continuing to work on it to make it perfect. And just as a comparison, just on August 10th of 2020, it was reported in the news that a 22-year-old Nigerian singer was sentenced to death for a song he wrote. People thought it was talking badly about their religious leader, so they sentenced him to death. Here in the United States, that cannot happen, thanks to our constitutional right of free speech. They hold some secret trials in Nigeria, and that can't happen here in the United States because our Constitution requires public trials, open to anyone who wants to observe them. They have mass executions, that is, many death sentences in Saudi Arabia of large numbers of people without any right to due process, no right to have an attorney or a trial or present one's witnesses or see one's accusers or know of the charges. This cannot happen here in the United States because our Constitution gives us our due process rights, which other countries don't give their citizens. Hong Kong has also punished people for their speech if the government doesn't like what the citizens are saying. The government can throw citizens in prison, unlike in the United States where that cannot happen, thanks to our constitutional right to free speech. Judges are either elected in an election or appointed by the governor to be a judge. Either way, they serve 6-year terms and have to stand for election to continue as a judge. We are public servants who serve the public. I was recently informed that I am believed to be the first South Asian American judge in California. That's why I am in this photo with Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor who appointed me to become a judge. I'm half East Indian, as my father was born and raised in the Fiji Islands, and he came here to the United States and became a United States citizen. He worked in the fields picking fruit and worked his way up while in college to earn his highest degree possible for his major. He earned his doctorate in microbiology. I think access to justice is very important, and so is diversity in the legal profession. That's why you all saw in our program many different people who were in different areas of the legal system from different ethnic backgrounds. This First Impressions program has been presented for 20 years in our county, And last year alone, we reached over 600 fifth graders like you with our in-person program. We hope that people from diverse ethnic backgrounds will consider joining the legal profession someday, because that will promote more public confidence in our justice system. I started Homeless Court for homeless people at the dining hall here in Stockton, so they can have their cases heard and they won't be afraid, like in a formal court setting. They are members of our community who deserve access to the court like anyone else. I also started a military veterans court for people who have served our country in our military to help us preserve our freedoms and constitutional rights. And sometimes they've returned home from military service a bit broken, so they get into some legal trouble. These are also members of our community who deserve access to a court that understands their particular needs as veterans. When we have a diverse bench or judges from various ethnic backgrounds, and when we have other partners in the legal community in our justice system from various ethnic backgrounds, it helps us to better connect with the public we serve and receive public support for judges' rulings and judges' orders. That is important for an orderly society.